There comes a moment in life when you must stop asking, when will I succeed? And start asking, who am I becoming? Because success is not something you can force. It is something you prepare yourself for. You may look around and see others moving faster than you. Someone is achieving more. Someone is earning more. Someone is being recognized while you feel as if you are standing in the same place. But do not allow comparison to steal your direction. Your path is not late. Your growth is not invisible. And your work is not meaningless simply because nobody is applauding yet. There is a period in every person's life where the greatest work happens in silence. A period where you are building discipline without recognition, improving without praise, learning without certainty, and continuing without knowing exactly when the results will come. This is the period where you must learn to focus on yourself, not on who is ahead of you, not on who doubts you, not on who left you behind, not on how quickly someone else is succeeding. Focus on your growth. Every day become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little calmer, a little more disciplined. Learn something, improve something, correct something. Let go of something that no longer serves you. You do not need to transform your entire life in one day. You only need to stop abandoning yourself every day. Success often comes after the person becomes ready to carry it. So while others are chasing attention, build character. While others are chasing approval, build confidence. While others are chasing quick results, build patience. And while others are asking when their moment will come, prepare yourself so completely that when your moment arrives, you are ready for it. There will be days when you feel like nothing is changing. Keep going. There will be days when your effort seems unnoticed. Keep going. There will be days when you question whether the path is worth it. Pause if you need to, but do not give up on yourself, because growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The seed does not announce when it is becoming a tree. It simply continues to grow. And perhaps this is what you need to understand today. Your responsibility is not to control when success arrives. Your responsibility is to become the kind of person who no longer needs to chase it. Focus on the work. Focus on your discipline. Focus on your mind. Focus on your habits. Focus on becoming better than the person you were yesterday. And let time do what time always does. Let it reveal what consistent effort has built. You do not need to chase success. Build yourself so deeply, so patiently, and so consistently that eventually success has no choice but to find you. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is to become so focused on the result that you forget to become the person capable of creating that result. You look at the destination and become frustrated because you are not there yet. You look at the success of others and wonder why your own life has not changed. You measure your progress by what you can see, while ignoring everything that is quietly being built inside you. But real growth does not always announce itself. Sometimes growth looks like waking up and doing the work when nobody is watching. Sometimes it looks like remaining disciplined when motivation disappears. Sometimes it means walking away from distractions, controlling your reactions, keeping your promises to yourself, and choosing what is difficult because you understand that difficulty is shaping you. You may want success today, but life may be preparing you for success tomorrow. And there is a difference. If you receive something before you are ready for it, you may not have the strength to keep it. But when you develop yourself first, the result becomes more than something you receive. It becomes something you can sustain. This is why you must stop obsessing over immediate results. Instead, ask yourself a different question. What can I improve today? Maybe you can improve your discipline. Maybe you can improve your health. Maybe you can improve your ability to concentrate. Maybe you can become more patient. Maybe you can learn a new skill. Maybe you can spend less time seeking approval and more time building your own foundation. These small improvements may appear insignificant in the moment, but they accumulate. A person does not suddenly become strong. Strength is developed through repeated decisions. A calm mind is developed by practicing calmness when life becomes difficult. Discipline is developed by doing what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. Confidence is developed by keeping promises to yourself. Wisdom is developed by observing your mistakes instead of constantly blaming circumstances. This is the work that happens before success becomes visible. So stop asking whether everyone can see your progress. They do not need to. Your growth does not require an audience. You do not need applause for every step. You do not need recognition for every sacrifice. You do not need everyone to understand why you are becoming quieter, more focused, or more selective with your time. There is power in working without needing immediate validation. When you stop chasing results, your attention returns to the only place where you actually have control: yourself. You cannot control how quickly another person succeeds. You cannot control whether people recognize your effort. You cannot control when opportunities appear. You cannot control how others judge your journey, but you can control whether you show up today. You can control what you practice. You can control what you consume. You can control what you tolerate. You can control where you place your attention. And when you repeatedly control these things, something begins to change. You become less dependent on external circumstances to determine how you feel about yourself. You begin to understand that your greatest achievement is not simply reaching a goal. It is becoming someone who can continue moving forward, regardless of whether the goal is close or far away. So build yourself. Build your mind before you build your reputation. Build your discipline before you demand success. Build your character before you seek recognition. Build your patience before you expect results. And when the results finally come, you will understand that they were never the beginning of your transformation. They were simply the evidence of everything you had already built in silence. There is a tendency in modern life to believe that everything should happen quickly. We want fast results, immediate recognition, rapid improvement, and visible proof that our efforts are working. We become impatient when progress takes time. We begin something with energy, but when the results do not appear quickly, we question ourselves, our abilities, and sometimes even the path we have chosen. But meaningful growth rarely happens overnight. A strong mind is not created in one powerful moment. A disciplined person is not created by one productive day. Confidence is not built because everything suddenly goes well. Real transformation comes from small actions repeated consistently, especially on the days when those actions seem too ordinary to matter. Think about the person you want to become. That person is not created by one decision. They are created by hundreds, perhaps thousands of decisions that seem insignificant when viewed individually. Getting up when you said you would, doing the work when you would rather rest, reading instead of endlessly scrolling, remaining silent instead of reacting, practicing when nobody is watching, returning to your purpose after a difficult day. These moments may not feel like success, but they are building the foundation for it. You must learn to respect small progress. Perhaps today you are only 1% better than yesterday. Do not underestimate that. 1% may not look impressive, but consistent improvement changes the direction of your life. The problem is that many people destroy their own motivation by constantly demanding visible results. They plant a seed and then dig it up every few days to check whether it is growing. They start a new habit and immediately ask whether their life has changed. They begin working toward a goal and become discouraged because nobody has noticed yet. Growth requires patience because development happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. A tree does not become strong because someone stands beside it, demanding that it grow faster. It grows according to its nature. You must learn to give yourself the same patience. There will be seasons when your progress feels obvious, and there will be seasons when you feel as though nothing is happening. Both are part of the journey. Do not allow a temporary lack of visible results to convince you that your effort is useless. Instead, measure yourself differently. Ask yourself whether you are more disciplined than you were before. Are you thinking more clearly? Are you reacting less? Are you making better decisions? Are you wasting less time? Are you becoming more comfortable with discomfort? Are you keeping more promises to yourself? These are signs of growth. Success is not always a number, a position, a possession, or an achievement. Sometimes success is simply becoming less controlled by the things that once controlled you. You become stronger when you no longer need constant motivation to act. You become stronger when you can continue without applause. You become stronger when failure teaches you instead of destroying you. You become stronger when delay no longer makes you abandon your purpose. This is why your attention should be placed on daily growth rather than instant success. You cannot live tomorrow today. You can only work with what is in front of you. Today gives you an opportunity to take one step. Tomorrow will give you another. Do not make the mistake of believing that small steps are meaningless because they are small. A mountain is climbed one step at a time. A skill is mastered through repetition. A disciplined life is created through disciplined moments. And a transformed person is created through repeated choices. So when you wake up tomorrow, do not ask, how quickly can I become successful? Ask, what can I improve today? Then improve it, maybe only slightly. But do it consistently, because the goal is not to become perfect by the end of the week. The goal is to become someone who refuses to stop growing. Motivation can inspire you to begin, but discipline is what teaches you to continue when the feeling disappears. This is one of the most important truths you can understand if you want to create lasting change in your life. There will always be days when you feel powerful, focused, and ready to take action. On those days, working toward your goals feels easy. But there will also be days when you feel tired, distracted, uncertain, or simply unwilling to do what you know needs to be done. Those days reveal whether you are truly committed or merely motivated. Motivation depends heavily on emotion. Discipline depends on decision. When you rely only on motivation, your progress becomes inconsistent. You work when you feel inspired and stop when you do not. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow arrives with the same distractions, the same excuses, and the same hesitation. Slowly, you begin to believe that you lack ability, when the real problem is that you have allowed your feelings to control your actions. Discipline changes this relationship. Discipline says, I may not feel like doing this, but I will do it because I decided that it matters. That decision creates strength. You do not need to feel ready every morning. You do not need to feel confident before taking action. You do not need to feel inspired before doing meaningful work. Sometimes the most important actions are the ones you take when your emotions are telling you to stay comfortable. This does not mean you should ignore your body, your needs, or your emotions. It means you should learn to observe them without allowing every temporary feeling to become a command. You can feel tired and still remain committed. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel uncertain and still take the next step. You can feel unmotivated and still keep your promise to yourself. That is discipline. And discipline becomes powerful because every time you act according to your values, instead of your temporary emotions, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself. Self-trust is built through action. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you will do something and then abandon it, your mind begins to lose confidence in your own promises. But when you start keeping those promises, even small ones, something changes. You begin to believe yourself. You say you will wake up earlier, and you do. You say you will practice, and you practice. You say you will stop wasting your evening, and you protect your time. You say you will work toward your goal, and you sit down and begin. These actions may appear simple, but they are creating an identity. You are teaching yourself through repetition that your decisions have weight. This is why discipline should not be viewed as punishment. Discipline is a form of freedom. Without discipline, every distraction can control you. Every emotion can redirect you. Every difficult moment can become an excuse to stop. With discipline, you become less dependent on circumstances. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need everyone to support you. You do not need to wait for the right mood. You simply return to the work. There will be days when your progress feels slow. There will be days when nobody notices your effort. There will be moments when you wonder whether continuing is worth it. In those moments, motivation may not appear to rescue you. Discipline will. It will remind you that your future should not be decided by how you feel for a few hours. So build routines that make action easier. Remove unnecessary distractions. Create clear commitments. Start with manageable steps. Repeat them until they become natural. Do not wait for the perfect feeling. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for someone to push you. Become the person who can move without being pushed. Because when discipline replaces your dependence on motivation, your progress becomes more stable, your mind becomes stronger, and your future is no longer controlled by temporary feelings. Your attention is one of the most valuable things you possess, yet many people give it away without realizing it. They allow every message, every opinion, every argument, every notification, and every problem around them to enter their mind. Then they wonder why they feel tired, unfocused, and disconnected from their own goals. If you want to grow, you must learn to protect your energy. This does not mean becoming cold toward people or avoiding the world. It means becoming intentional about what deserves your attention. Not everything deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves consideration. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. Not every conflict deserves your participation. Your energy is limited. Every time you spend hours worrying about what someone thinks of you, you are spending energy that could have been used to improve yourself. Every time you repeatedly replay an argument in your mind, you give your attention to something that may already be finished. Every time you compare your progress with someone else's life, you step away from your own path. Distraction does not always look like entertainment. Sometimes distraction looks like constantly checking what other people are doing. Sometimes it looks like explaining yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. Sometimes it looks like chasing approval. Sometimes it looks like trying to control situations that were never yours to control. And sometimes distraction is simply the habit of thinking about everything except the thing you need to do. You must become selective. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Before reacting to a message, ask whether a response is necessary. Before entering an argument, ask whether the argument will improve your life. Before comparing yourself with someone else, ask whether their journey has anything to do with yours. Before allowing someone's criticism to affect you, ask whether their opinion is coming from wisdom or simply from their own perspective. These questions create space between you and the world, and within that space, you regain control. Growth requires concentration. You cannot build a meaningful life while constantly allowing your attention to be pulled in 100 different directions. Imagine trying to walk toward a destination while repeatedly changing direction because someone calls your name. You may move all day, but you will not arrive where you intended to go. The same happens with your goals. One distraction becomes another. One notification becomes an hour. One comparison becomes insecurity. One argument becomes an entire evening of mental exhaustion. Protecting your energy means learning to say no without guilt. No to unnecessary drama. No to constant comparison. No to endless explanations. No to relationships that repeatedly drain your focus. No to habits that leave you weaker. No to the belief that you must respond to everything immediately. Silence can sometimes protect more energy than explanation ever could. You do not need to prove that you are working hard. Work. You do not need to announce every goal. Build. You do not need to convince everyone that you are changing. Let your actions reveal it. The more seriously you take your growth, the more carefully you will choose where your attention goes. This does not mean that you will never become distracted. You are human. Your mind will wander. Your emotions will rise. Unexpected problems will appear. The goal is not to eliminate every distraction. The goal is to return to your purpose, return to your work, return to your discipline, return to yourself. Every time you notice that your attention has been stolen, bring it back without judgment. Your life is being shaped by what you repeatedly give your attention to. If you constantly feed fear, fear becomes stronger. If you constantly feed comparison, dissatisfaction grows. If you constantly feed anger, peace becomes difficult. But if you feed discipline, learning, patience, and meaningful action, those qualities begin to grow within you. So protect your energy, protect your mornings, protect your attention, protect your peace, protect the time you have been given to become the person you want to become. You do not need to give everything your attention simply because everything is asking for it. Choose carefully, because every time you stop giving your energy to what does not matter, you create more space for what truly does. There is a point in every journey when you must learn to continue without knowing exactly when the reward will come. You work, you improve, you remain disciplined, and yet the results may still seem far away. This is where many people stop, not because they are incapable, but because they become impatient with the distance between effort and reward. They want proof before they continue. But sometimes you must continue before the proof arrives. Trusting the process does not mean sitting back and expecting life to give you everything you want. It means understanding that meaningful results require time, repetition, patience, and consistency. It means doing your part without demanding that the outcome appear according to your preferred schedule. You plant the seed, but you cannot command the tree to grow overnight. You can provide water, you can provide care, you can protect it, You can give it the right conditions. But growth has its own timing. Your life is similar. You can work on yourself every day. You can develop better habits, strengthen your mind, improve your skills, and become more disciplined. But you cannot control exactly when the opportunity will appear or when other people will recognize your effort. This is where patience becomes a form of strength. A weak commitment needs constant evidence. A strong commitment can survive uncertainty. There will be moments when you wonder whether your efforts are producing anything. You may look at your life and see very little change. But remember that not all progress is immediately visible. A person who becomes calmer has grown. A person who stops reacting to every provocation has grown. A person who becomes disciplined has grown. A person who learns from failure instead of becoming defeated by it has grown. A person who stops chasing approval has grown. These changes may not receive applause, but they are powerful because they change the foundation of your life. Success often becomes visible only after the foundation has been built. This is why you should stop measuring your journey only by external achievements. Measure your consistency, measure your courage, measure your patience, measure your ability to keep moving when nobody is encouraging you. Ask yourself whether you are becoming stronger than you were before. If the answer is yes, then you are not standing still. You are moving, maybe slowly, maybe quietly, but you are moving. And sometimes the most important thing you can do is remain faithful to the work during the period when nothing seems to be happening. Do not allow someone else's timeline to make you question your own. Another person's success is not evidence of your failure. Their chapter does not determine yours. Their speed does not define your pace. You may need more time because you are building something different. You may be learning lessons they never had to learn. You may be developing a foundation that will allow you to carry something much greater later. So stop comparing the surface of your life with the surface of someone else's. You do not know what is happening beneath the surface. Stay focused on what you can control. Work today. Learn today. Improve today. Read when necessary. Begin again when you fall. And then repeat. This is how trust is developed. Not by knowing exactly what will happen, but by knowing that you will continue doing what is within your control. Eventually, your consistency begins to create opportunities. Your preparation meets the right moment. Your discipline creates confidence. Your patience gives you endurance. And the person you became during the waiting period becomes more valuable than the result you were originally waiting for. So, do not chase success with desperation. Do not let impatience make you abandon your path. Do not destroy your peace because the outcome has not arrived yet. Keep building, keep learning, keep becoming. There may be a day when you look back and realize that the waiting was not wasted time. The silence was not emptiness. The slow progress was not failure. It was preparation. And when success finally finds you, you will understand that it did not suddenly appear in your life. You had been quietly preparing yourself to recognize it, receive it, and carry it all along.